you don't come out of Albuquerque soft. I've never met somebody like that from here. The culture is just really tough. So, the streets can be pretty violent. Uh, where I grew up, I got jumped almost every day. So it was just like constant physical confrontations with kids. And, if you didn't fight back, you just got completely bullied until you're black and blue, you know what I mean? And I was in elementary school, probably like second grade, and I got pinned in between two portables by these group of kids, and two of them just started beating the hell out of me. And then this guy named Jeremy came up and just slammed him up against the portable and told me to run. So he like protected me and everything. And that was like one of the turning points of me getting bullied like that, because I was, that's when I was like, oh, look what happens when you fight back, like they actually get scared. Because me and my friends, like, that's what we did after school. We just threw on boxing gloves and we just boxed all day long. And whoever walked by, we'd be like, hey, you want to box? So I went from being bullied constantly, so I'm at this extreme, to learning how to fight, and then I became almost the bully. And then I had to tone it down and come back in and figure out when is it okay to use force and when is it not, instead of just fighting all the time. But once I found out, like, everything was rooted in all this stuff that puts so much pressure on the average person and makes them, like, fall into debt because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever you want to call that. I was seeing it affect everyone around me, and when I started detaching from it and I started realizing all this fighting that I've done my whole life kind of was coming to a head, and I was like, I can't be physical my entire life. Like, then I started thinking about, all the talents I've had my entire life. I've always played guitar. I grew up playing saxophone. I was in hip hop groups, bands, like, you name it. I was always making music. In 2013, I lost my very first recording studio because my business partners came and stole everything. Another one of my business partners in T-shirt, he ended up dying in a car accident. So it's just like, my life was just going downhill constantly, and no matter what I tried to do to lift myself up, the next thing, happened. All my avenues came to a screeching halt all at once. And basically my music is just a documentation of all of that hard work and all the lessons I learned through all of that stuff. I guess to sum it all up, it's like, I get tired of artists being looked at as bums, as people just slacking off when they're figuring out how to use a camera, when they're figuring out how to use a microphone, when they're figuring out how to use a pen or a pencil or whatever it is, whatever discipline it is. They're looked at as, you're wasting your time, go get a job. This is a fucking job. And everyone consumes this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, how many people listen to music? Boom, there's a microphone involved, there's a sound engineer involved, there's a team involved to make that happen. See, I fucked it up again. Now I'm camera shy.
Aw, that's adorable.
Determination and willpower go a long way, and we all kind of like veer off track. You can always get back on track. Life is a bunch of ups and downs and extreme movements where you go from happy to sad and all these extreme emotions, and we just have to kind of like hone it in and dial it into a neutral zone and find the balance in everything. And that's what I hope people take away from my life and my existence, was just that I took the time to heal myself, to be the best I could be for everyone else around me, because I've never wanted to affect anybody negatively. That's all I care about. You know, I just want to be that positive force in life, and I hope everyone else can hop on that train. Close your eyes and wait for better days.